This is the journey to One Africa. Hey everybody, welcome to the family. It's good to see everybody who is joining us here right now from all of our social medias. I almost didn't do this live stream today because I just got home right now. It's almost 12 midnight, but I promised you guys yesterday that we'll do a live stream today. We did yesterday. We're talking about the first enemy of Africa. And the day before that, we were talking about all three enemies of Africa. And I promised that today I'll be here to discuss and to share with you guys, to break down about the second enemy of Africa. And tomorrow, let me just say this today so that I may show up tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be here addressing the third enemy of Africa. So if you missed yesterday's live stream and the day before that, they are actually available here on our YouTube channel. For those who are watching on TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Swahili Nation, and to check it out. You'll be able to at least, see what we're trying to address. But it's so glad to see everybody here. Please let me know where you're joining from. And let me just start saying hi to everybody. Hi from the capital city of African Union, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It's good to see everybody here. Let me know in the comment section where you're joining from, and after that, we're gonna jump right into today's topic. But I'd love to know, because I know even today, maybe the new people here who came. So I would love to know from you guys, who do you think is the second greatest adversary of Africa? Let me pray a little quick before I begin, and we're gonna jump over. God, I thank you for today. I appreciate that you're giving us this opportunity to digest, to talk, to share these ideas and these things for the benefit of our people, for the benefit of these continents. Um, uh, we really want our minds to be transformed. We really want our minds to be renewed, and we really want to be changed for the sake of this continent. You have given us a beautiful nations, beautiful country, beautiful continent, but sometimes we're not standing on our position. We're not accountable enough. We're not responsible enough to bring the change that this continent needs, to bring the change that the continent has been crying for so long time. But we are part of the change. We should be part of that change. And so me, myself, and I, and everybody who is joining me here today, we are taking that step forward by addressing the issues and finding the solutions on how can we be a source of change to our community. We refuse to point fingers at others. We refuse to blame, to complain, but we are deciding to take a step, the step of action, to bring the change that this continent needs. Our desire is to see one Africa in our generation, and you have placed us in this moment, in this season, to just do that. So help us tonight to understand, and your spirit may reveal things that we have never known before, for the benefit of everybody who is watching here, so that at the end of the day, as we end this stream, it's not gonna be like, oh, I wasted time to listen to this guy, but it'll be productive talk, and we're gonna see that change in our hearts and in those people surrounding us, and we are going to be the fuel of change in our communities and in our countries and in this great continent of Africa. God, I pray and I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. It's good to be here. I believe you guys you are happy to be there as well. In Africa, it's kind of late right now. So a lot of people might be sleeping, and maybe they're sleeping. But for those who are outside of Africa, it's good to see you guys. Let me know where you're joining from, by the way. I appreciate for those who are already liking and sharing these streams. I appreciate that. These kind of topics, they're not really popular. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. Hey, hi from Lebanon. Shout out to Lebanon, by the way. It's good to see you there from Lebanon. I see family Marit from the Netherlands. Good to see you there. And I see some people here as well. Yeah, so what I was saying is that these kind of topics are not really popular to talk about, but it's very important to address these issues, because the only way to find solution is by addressing the issues. First of all, knowing them, and I think that's what we are doing here today, and trying to address them. So yesterday, I had a session here to talk about the first enemy of Africa, and we covered, just to give a little bit of recap, we covered something called mentality. We cover something called mindset, Africa's mindset, Africans' mindset. We covered that thing about mindset for 1 hour, almost 1 hour and a half. We talked about that. You guys, you've been commenting here and sharing your opinion as well, and I addressed that for that long, talking about mindset, how mindset of us as Africans are letting us down, why we don't seem to support others, each other, especially when somebody's doing right, especially when somebody's shining. Why do I have to feel jealous? Why do I have to bring them down instead of celebrating them? We try to compare with different communities that are out there, like Indians and Arabs and so on and so forth, even Chinese. Back in my country, there's this one gym owned by Chinese, and you'll find there Chinese all the time coming to work out. Some of them, they don't even work out. They go there, they just walk a little bit and then just look around, but they pay every single month. Why? To support the business of the Chinese buddy. You know what I'm saying? But why we don't see these things common in our communities, even in our countries? Why we pull each other down in the same country? That we have the same country. We are the same people, but we pull each other down simply because of our tribes. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we do that? We pull each other simply because of our religions. We pull each other simply because of our nationalities. You know, why do we do that? Why Kenyans and Tanzanians have to fight? Why Somalis and Ethiopians have to fight? Why? Why Congolese and Rwandese have to fight? Why? 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 I don't see the point. Why? And we're one people. And to address that between Somalia and Ethiopia, I'm so glad that Somali president, actually at the same time that I was here, Somali president was here as well. I don't know if he left already, but he was having a work visit for, I think, for 2 days. And it's beautiful to see that happening, because there's been a huge tension between these two countries, and Egypt is involved and also Turkey is involved, but now they're sitting down, and he was here visiting, you know, friendly visit. That was really good to see. I don't know how you guys felt, you know, Somalis and Ethiopians, but for me it was really beautiful, because this is kind of Africa we want. I don't want Turkey to be hero, because Turkey was actually becoming hero to stand in between Somalia and Ethiopia. But why, us as brothers and sisters, why can't we just resolve things and solve things on? Why we need somebody else? Why we need a savior to come in between and solve our issues? I'm addressing the entire context of Africa. Mindset, not mindset, that we cannot lead ourselves. That's why you have people like, you know, I shared this video a while ago. This guy from the United States, he spoke about, I think we need to recolonize Africa again, because those guys cannot lead themselves. They need somebody to guide them and to lead them. They've been struggling for all these years. We've been sending them aids and donations, but nothing helps them. We need to go there and reclaim the land again to help them, because they cannot lead themselves. This one evil guy, he said that. I mean, I share that video here on YouTube. I just forgot his name because he's not that important. But that's what he said. You know what I'm saying? So if you have people thinking about that because they're looking at the continent, they see the potential in the continent. Actually, to be honest, the matter of fact, like non-Africans, they see a huge potential of the continent more than us Africans. And that is crazy, that we are sitting in the land that is so full and rich of everything, with everything, and yet we don't see potential. Why? Because our mentality is just somewhere else. When we look at that, we think, oh, we cannot do this. We need somebody to come, you know, to invest in our continent in order to extract all these golds and minerals, and then they will sell to us as a final product and with higher price, taking raw materials from us, bringing us the end products with higher price, and it's our own things. Kudos to Mali, because they've just stopped one of the biggest gold mining company called Barrick Company. We have in Tanzania as well. I remember President Magufuli, when he was in the regime, he actually, you know, actually he did the same thing, because they were not paying taxes. He did the same thing, and they hated him for that. Mali, they're doing the same thing. This company called Barrick Company, this Barrick is Canadian company. It has been extracting golds in so many countries in the continent of Africa. Apparently even Mali. I did not know that they're in Mali. But they're everywhere in this continent of Africa. They've been extracting over and over and over and over again. Guess what the percentage for Mali? It was like 80 something percent with 15 or something percent. 80% for Canadian company called Barrick, and the rest of the percent for Mali. So the president of Mali, they call them junta. Shout out to them, by the way. You know what? He stood and he stopped these guys. Say, from now onward, you ain't gonna dig a dime of what we have in here. He stopped them. Barrick is no longer operating in Mali. So we need to renegotiate this contract once again. We need to redefine this. Shout out to Sahel region. Shout out to, you know, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, because they're showing us the way. What is supposed to be done to our continent and what we're supposed to do. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. Shout out them. That news just broke out today. Actually, yesterday, because right now it's already almost 12. Yeah, yesterday. So shout out. That's what it's. What are we struggling? All the source of all these issues and all these problems is mindset, guys. So imagine if we as Africans, we have that kind of mindset, and then we become leaders. That's where I'm coming to the second greatest adversary of this continent: leadership, leaders. And let me be very clear, because when I'm talking about this, everybody's getting sensitive and whatever. No, let me be very clear. If our mindset is like this, then these are kind of leaders we are produced. These are kind of leaders we are bringing them into our continent. So what we are doing here, decolonizing the mind through authentic knowledge here in Swahili Nation, basically we are preparing the leadership of tomorrow. We're igniting the fire to produce good leaders of tomorrow. You know, back in the days, people who used to be popular in this world, they were leaders. Martin Luther King, Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Nelson Mandela, Thomas Sankara, Haile Selassie, Kenyatta. You can name all of those guys, Muammar Gaddafi. Back in the days, the prominent people were leaders. Famous people in this world were leaders. Those were big names in the world. If you come to Tanzania, you only have to mention Julius Kambarage Nyerere. Everybody, wow, Julius. If you come to Ethiopia, Haile Selassie. Oh, Haile Selassie. If you go to Congo, Patrice Lumumba, you have to mention Patrice Lumumba. Everybody, if you go to Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, everybody, these were prominent leaders in our continent. Nelson Mandela is like a symbol of independence of South Africa. They used to be famous people in our countries. But what about today? Who are the most famous people in our countries today? Musicians who have thousands of scandals, comedians. These are famous people right now in our countries and in the world. So you see how we are shifting. We're shifting. Why? Because there's a lack of leadership. That leadership that were there, that brought us where we are today, brought us independence, is gone. And what are we left with? With colonized mindset that can never lead our mindset. So what we see today in the leadership is the product of our messed up mindset, the first enemy of the continent. If we cannot decide today and choose to change that cycle, vicious cycle, we'll forever struggle with leadership in Africa. We need to change that vicious cycle by going back to the roots. We call something root cause analysis, like what happened, why it happened, where did we go wrong? Where did these famous people in the world, leadership changed from leaders to musicians? Why did it change? And actually right now it's even changing. The most famous people are rich people. Like Elon Musk, the most richest man on earth. It used to be Bill Gates. Right now you go there, Jeff Bezos, and then you have Elon Musk, and in Africa you have Aliko Dangote. You have like these names are becoming really big, huge in our countries. So everything changes. So what does this tell to the next generation? That I need to be famous. I need to be rich to be famous. Before you remember back in the days when we were fighting independence, people, they were patriots. They're ready to die for the country. They did not care about their tribes, did not care about their religion. The only thing they cared is about the independence of our country. That these Italians, they want to take over Ethiopia, ain't gonna happen. All Ethiopians must come together and fight these people to stop them from occupying our land. Even the songs we used to sing, it was the revolutionary songs. It used to be like the songs about our countries, the songs about freedom, the songs about, the promised land. A lot of songs that we read today, we sing today in church, in the books, they were written with slaves in America. When they were singing while they were slaving, just slaving. When they were slaving, they were just singing these songs, like, I'm gonna see the victory. They're just singing these songs and these hymns. Today we are singing them. Back in the days, we have these patriotic songs. Today, we have songs that they're not even addressing people, but they're addressing action. Songs about money, songs about sex, songs about fame. That's what we have today, and we are producing the generation that is just thinking about fame, money, and sex. That's it, nothing more. This is kind of mentality we are producing in our continent, and then you expect to have good leadership. Ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. This is where we are right now. We're in a very critical moment, not just because of leadership, but because of the type of generation we created. We are the product of that. So where did we go wrong? From Julius Kambarage Nyerere to where we are today. What went wrong? What changed? What happened? What happened? That today The countries that used to celebrate our leaders, they're no longer celebrating our leaders, but they're hating on our leaders. Where did we go wrong? From loving and worshiping them to hating and wanting to crucifying them. What went wrong? Leaders used to be prominent figures. We used to worship them. I remember in Tanzania back in the days, even after Nyerere, left the regime and he let others run, this party used to show the picture of Nyerere too. Whoever that is running, they'll show the picture of Nyerere, and people, they'll just vote because they see Nyerere. They'll vote, they'll be like, oh, this is the party of Nyerere. Okay, I'll vote for it. They don't care even who is running for the government, as long as the party of Nyerere, because they worshipped him for what he did. But where are we right now? Where are we today? The leadership is broken. Nothing is going well. There's something going well. I'm going to be honest with that. But it started with our mindset. Our mindset shifted from celebrating, from singing the songs of victory, the songs of independence, from singing the songs of liberation, from singing the song of God. We shifted, and now we sing the songs of sex. Well, you no longer need VPN to watch pornography these days. You no longer find websites, whatever, to watch it. You can just go to Instagram, you can just go to X, and you can find everything there. That is the generation we are producing today. And even parents, they don't know. They don't know. Pornography sites today, the Instagram, is X, is YouTube. They might ban me here, but anyways, it's TikTok. That's why they're limiting me nowadays. It's Facebook. You don't need to find any links. You don't need to find, no. It's just here. You can watch it every time. And that's what our kids watch all the time. I remember back in the days when you're with your parents, you're watching TV, and then there's a scene of kissing one another. Back in the days, they're not even kissing mouth to mouth. They were kissing. If this is the mouth, they're kissing here. They're like, but if you're a kid, you'll hide yourself. You try to be busy. You'll be like, oh, I need to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It was shame. But today you can sit next to your parent and watch people just having, French kiss right there. And you just watching it like, wow. And nothing happens. Like, it's normal. It is normal. I remember back in the days when you start to watch movies and then you see these gay couples, do gaying their things, and you'll be like, oh my, God forbid, you will turn on television, you might break that CD, you might not watch that movie ever again. But now, we're in a place where it's just normal to see that watching movies by Tyler Perry, shows just obviously, just openly, became normal. This messed up mindset, it becomes part of our culture. We accept it, and it changes inside out, and then it produces leaders who are not accountable and responsible, who they don't have zeal for the continent. They don't have the spirit of patriotism, the spirit of Africanism, the spirit of keeping the nation and our countries and our continent safe for the sake of the next generation. We don't think about that no more. We just do whatever the heck we want to do today for the sake of us, but not for the sake of our people. Who is Africa's second greatest adversary? I'm sorry to say this. I know some of you might be watching here, but not all of you. But leadership, leaders. And this is the result of the messed up mentality that is their number one. Everything falls on the leadership. Whether we want to be honest with ourselves or not, but that is the truth. And that will always be the truth. That will always be the truth. You know what Jesus said? My role model in leadership is Jesus. You know what he said? One day he said that, this is kind of wisdom that I still don't get it. Like, I'm still trying to learn and to ask God to teach me even more. It's talking about I don't know this in English, man, but it's talking in Swahili, we say magugu and gano, to grow together. It's like if you have like good people and bad people, you have to let them grow together. Like I really like, basically can give an example with his disciples 12. He knew that there would be Judas. He knew from the very start, but he did not kick him away. He knew that there will be one who will betray me, but he let him be in among those people. He let him be among his close cycle of people. He let them grow together. That is the high level of wisdom, man. If I know you're going to betray me, I don't know if I'll keep you in my team. I don't know, man. No. I don't want to take that risk. But it's the high level of wisdom that I can understand. I'm failing to understand. Yet, that seed of betraying Jesus did not spoil the entire group. So there's two things here. You can let him be with you, but what if this man is too powerful to the point that everybody else that is with you, following you, they're going to adopt that seed of betraying you? And you're not going to have only one betrayer, but you're going to have 12 of them disciples betraying you. So it requires a godly wisdom to understand that, who is going to betray me, and what am I going to do to make sure that the entire group is not going to be spoiled because of this one broken man. But also, let him be. Maybe one day we'll remember. And you remember the day Judas is going to betray Jesus. He simply told him that, hey, man, you just do what brought you here. Yeah, but he asked him first. That he said, hey, are you betrayed the Son of Man, Son of God, by kissing? He asked him. And Judah, basically was giving him an opportunity to actually change his mind. But this man, he went ahead and he kissed him anyways. And that was his hand. So I do not understand this type of wisdom, but I kind of feel like that is kind of wisdom that we need in our continent, and especially in the leadership. You guys can hear from my tone, right? I'm not here to blame anybody, because I don't do blame game. It's not productive. It's not productive at all. But what I'm doing here is constructive suggestions. Constructive suggestions. Constructive suggestions. That's what I'm here for. To get you guys understand what is happening, and to figure out what can we do to bring about that change. So perhaps you have dreams to become a leader and everything, but it begins from our mental state, our mentality, and how we think about our people and how we think about this continent and what we want to see. Because I'll tell you this, that we can't remove ourselves from the equation. When we're talking about the state of this continent, we cannot remove leaders from that equation. We cannot remove all Africans from that equation. That's why I started with mentality. But also there's the leadership. Leadership, the main job is to lead. So you either lead them to the promised land or you lead them down to the pit. It's leadership. I'll repeat that. It's either you lead these people to the promised land or you lead them down to the pit. All of them is leadership. The only difference is that some of them are going down, some of them are going up. So if you're going down to the pit as a continent, it means that's kind of leadership we have. If we're succeeding and marching forward, that's kind of leadership we have. I'll let you be judge of that. So who is the second greatest adversary in our continent, in Africa? Is leadership. I'm saying this, I've had a conversation with young people all the time in the continent, wherever I go. And that's one thing I hear all the time. Man, leadership, man. Man. Our leaders, African leaders, man. African leaders, man. And I always remind these people that no. First, before leaders, before you point fingers, look at your mentality. If you complain that much because of leadership, because of leadership, because of leadership, and you do not think about your mindset, I mean, first of all, that is already a messed up mentality because you are responsible too. I shared this the other day, 2 days ago, that if in your country you need 10 million jobs per year, 10 million, okay, in the continent, actually, the entire continent, 10 million young people graduating every single year, but only 2 million Africans, they are employed in the continent. What about the rest of them? They try to run away, they don't have job, no employment at all. So if I'm in my country and every single year we have 500,000 people asking for job, graduating from university, they want job. I can be part of that solution by creating a business and hire 2 people. If I do that, if 100,000 of young people do that in the same country, how many people will be employed? More than 2,000 people, right? So if you have 500,000 people who are not employed, you, 100 people, whatever, you have already hired 2,000 people. You've already hired 2,000 people. So if the problem was this big, now problem is this big. What I'm trying to say is that I cannot sit down here to blame the leadership and I'm not doing anything about it. No, I am to blame as well. Because I can actually come with an idea, come with the business and hire 5 people. If 1,000 of us do that, hire 5 people, we have 5,000 people already got a job. Reduce the number of people who are not employed. Then we can speak about it. That what are you guys doing, government? I am doing this and I'm one individual person. What about you, government? I can talk about it. But if I'm not doing that, then I can't blame them. Because I don't know. If you cannot hire even a single person, why blaming the leader who cannot hire like 1 million people? I'm trying to be fair here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to do something about it. If you cannot do that, then don't point fingers because you're not part of the solution. You're part of the complainers and everything, and that does not change anything. That's why the first enemy is mindset. That means even when we are pointing fingers, we have to look at ourselves and look at our mindset. What do we think? How do we act? How do we go? What do we think about our neighbors? What do you think about? We need to evaluate ourselves, and then you can go ahead and point fingers if you think you're saint. This because we want here at SNOA to create the culture of being responsible. We say 2025 is the year of high standard that Africans must hold ourselves in the high standard of responsibility and accountability. This is the year. This is the theme of this year. So we want to hold you in a high standard of accountability and responsibility as well. And that goes hand to hand with, you finding a solution to the problems that we're addressing in the continent. Because one man cannot do that. But collectively, that's why we say one Africa right now. Because when we are united, we'll be able to solve these things together. If I do that, if you do that, if that person does that, we are reducing the number of unemployed people. If you open an industry in your country, if I do the same thing, it doesn't matter whether it's small, big, or medium size, it does not matter. If you do business, small, medium, high size, you are contributing to the country's economy. Not only that, you hire maybe one person to stand there just in case you're not there. You've already given a job to somebody. Don't just think about big company and hire like 100 people. Maybe you don't have that capacity, but you can start small, opening a little bit of kiosk, and you hire one person there. You have already, first of all, you're giving income to the government. I mean, to the country. Second of all, you're reducing the problem of unemployment. Third of all, you're saving your entire family. You're removing your family from poverty. The same thing to that person who is working for you. So how many problems are we solving by just starting a single business? Because where we are going right now, because of AI, even you people who are in the company working, let me tell you this, you don't have enough time. You might not finish 1 year. You might not finish 2 years because the job you're working right now, you're doing, AI will do it for you. For those people who were designing CVs and we had to pay them money, a lot of money because they were, designing CVs for us. No more jobs. For those who were writing papers, no more jobs. HR is no longer needed right now in the companies. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to lose jobs. The only thing that we as Africans, we can start training ourselves with, yes, we can start AI. We need to start that's first. But second, we need to go to the business. We need to be business people. We need to open business. Because who is going to substitute that? It's your own business. So if you want to hire a robot, you can hire, but you have a business. We need to have this business mindset. We need to open up and to start that. We need to change this software. You cannot go to university today to study to become a HR. Right? You're not going to have that job after a couple of years from now. You're not going to have that job. So even the education in our continent, we need to start reshaping in that way. It needs to be more practical than theoretically, right? We need to teach people business. This business should be one of the things that our kids are learning from the low ground. Leaders, you can do that because that is your job to come with all these, whatever, these, how do we call them? I forgot the name, but to come with these things that our kids, our students will actually be studying in our universities and in our schools. That is your job as a leader. We need to start thinking that way today. That's why when you go to the United States, there's a huge number of people that don't go to university. They end up in high school. And after that, they're in business. After that, they're in entertainment. After that, they're doing that. And they're making a whole lot of money. Why? Because they feel like, okay, if I go to university, this is a waste of time because what I'm studying there, I cannot apply in a real life. So we need to remove that equation and to make sure that our kids, they go all the way to university, but only by giving them what is really necessary and practical for this world today. And I'm telling you, this is one of the ways that our continent will never be the same again. But it takes leaders to see that, leaders to decide, leaders to make a move, leaders to bring about change. But it takes two to tango, you know what I'm saying? Like, so leaders and those who have been led, all of us together. All of us together. Very important. If they do not share the same philosophy, conscious thinking, I don't want to unite with them, Swahili Nation. If they don't share the same philosophy, conscious thinking, I don't want to unite with them. Let me help you in this. That you need to understand that diversity is one of the strongest pillars of unity. And in the context of Africa, we have to subscribe to diversity because we are not the same people. I'll explain about that because sometimes I say we are the same people and today I'm saying I'm not the same, but I'll explain why I'm saying that. We did not come from the same background. The matter of fact, you know, there's culture shock among Africans. I went to Nigeria and I had a culture shock. When I came to Ethiopia for the first time, I had the same thing. If you come to Tanzania, go to Kenya, South Africa, you'll have the same thing. Because we're not raised the same. We're not taught the same. We come from different backgrounds, different families, different countries, different languages, different tribes, different religion. We're raised differently. So we cannot be the same. Unity is not about being similar. It's about embracing our diversity. It's about embracing our differences. Unity is about knowing our differences and embrace it. Unity is about agreeing to disagree. I'm not saying that when we're one, we're not gonna disagree. No, it's agreeing to disagree. That okay, we don't disagree in this, but you know what? We're agreeing to disagree. It's okay, let's move forward. Unity is the only answer, is the only way forward. Even when we disagree, we are going to remain friends. Even when things don't work out, we're gonna remain together. That is all about unity, my brother or my sister truth. So I'm just pointing to that point that you shared. You might have different philosophy with me. We don't have to think the same, because otherwise this world will be boring. You don't have to have the same philosophy as I have, but you need to have high standards of responsibility, accountability. You need to have excellence in your philosophy and my philosophy, because that's where we can meet and help one another. You can help me with your philosophy, I'll help you with my philosophy. You know, by perhaps you're talking about philosophies like, you know what, my tribe is better than yours, of course. That is messed up mentality. Again, we're going to the first enemy, is mentality issue. And that's why we're addressing that. Somebody's asking here, Pre goes in on TikTok, how much Abiy Ahmed pay for you to prosperity propaganda? That's the mindset right there. So guys, for those who do not know, Abiy is the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and I'm being asked here how much he pays me to say what I'm saying. That is the mentality I'm talking about. That is the mentality that we think that there's no human on earth, there's no man here in Africa that can stand and think for himself unless they're being paid to talk what they share. maybe today is your first time to join here, but I've been here for quite some time, my brother or my sister. I don't know who the heck are you. I've been here for very long time. Very long time. Maybe you're just joining me here for the first time. I started this thing 2019 here on YouTube, but before that, I started to do this outside of this like 10 years before that. So I started this thing long time ago. You know, some people they'll call me legend, but because you saw me here in 5 years, so maybe you know you're not gonna call me there because I haven't even finished 10 years. But I started this thing long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Started to say these things long time ago, very long time ago. The matter of fact, even before your leader came to pass, because I started this offline before that. This is my philosophy. This is my life. This is how I live, and this is what I believe. You know, these are mindset of our people. Mindset of our people, that you must be paid to talk about these things. You must be paid to say. I will say this again to those who think that there's no money on this earth will pay me to say what I'm saying. You can't afford to pay me. There's not amount of money that you pay me to say what I'm saying. No amount of money. No amount of money. There are people, I'll tell you this here honestly, there are people and organizations that called me to pay me to do that, and I refused. And it's good money, but I refused. Nobody can pay me to say what I'm saying. Not your government, not my government, not Africa, not anyone. No. Because what I'm saying right now, I'm putting my life on the line. And no amount of money. No amount of money. I either put my life online from the leadership perspective or from the people perspective. I'm somewhere at the center. I'm somewhere like I'm enemy of everybody. I'm enemy of the leadership. I'm enemy of the people as well. Because people think you're being paid. And these think you're being... There was a time that, you know, when I say something about China, you know, they thought I was being paid by Americans. When I say something about Americans, they think I'm being paid by China. When I say something about, you know, this BRICS thing, they think I'm being paid by American, you know, to talk against, you know, Russia and China. It's, man, I'm like, man, I should be billionaire, man. I mean, pay with us, be billionaire. I'm billionaire, man. Gonna come here and do live stream, talk to you guys. No, I'll be busy with my money spending somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I just need to put. I know I spoke really bad, but you know, I just need to put clear there for those mindsets. Kind of messed up mentality is that? That's the mindset that I'm addressing here. Like, clear your conscience. What kind of mindset do you have to think like that? Yesterday I was just talking here about mindset. These are kind of mindset that are bringing us backwards. You want me to see something that is being done good and not talk about it? Some of you, you want me to see something is going bad and not talk about it? Well, I'm being called for this hour and to address what I'm addressing today. So I'll do it. And then I've been doing it and I keep on doing it. But you know, these guys I'm addressing, I'm sorry for those who are not part of that, but I'm addressing this for that mentality. I'm attacking the mentality and I'm telling you this is disease. This disease is more hard, is more dangerous than cancer. It's more dangerous than HIV. It's more dangerous than any other disease you can name there. It's more dangerous than brain tumor. The mentality, our mindset, the messed up mindset, the colonized mentality is more dangerous than cancer. And that is the cancer that has been bleeding the continent inside out. That's the cancer that has been dividing us into these small groups of tribes and religions and countries. That's why we're not united. That's why we're not one. That's why we cannot come together. And at the same time as we're fighting against each other, somebody else is taking advantage of the continent. And we spend 24 hours 7 to blame them. And we forget that the source of what is happening in our continent is our mindset. So today I'm here to address the second greatest adversary of this continent, and that is leadership. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a solution as well. So what kind of leadership do we need in Africa? I always say this. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know this. We need a servant leadership. That's the first thing. Servant leader is someone who understands that I'm here not for my sake, but I'm here to serve the people who put me here. I'm here not for my agenda. I'm here for the agenda of the nation. I'm here not for my will. I'm here for the will of the nation. I'm here not to accomplish my vision. No, I'm here to accomplish the vision of a nation. Where do we want to be in 10 years from now? Where do we want to be in 50 years from now? Where do we want to be in 100 years from now? That means even when they don't understand me, what I'm doing today, but if they will understand me 100 years later, when there's a completely new generation, I will do it. I will do it today for the sake of the vision of the nation. I see my country somewhere, I'll do it whether you support me or not. I'll do it. That is the fine line there, because if I'm here to serve you and you want me to save you something that is not really aligned with the vision of the country, I ain't gonna do it, and I'll still be your leader. And that is the sacrifice that leaders have to make sometimes. This is kind of leadership we need. The continent, servant leadership, servant leaders, people who will be there to serve, people that will not be proud of being bosses. The day you vote them in the office, they change completely. You can't greet them, you can't touch them, you can't say nothing about them. Otherwise, you're gonna face consequences. You know, the greatest power is knowing how to manage your power. It's actually, sometimes greatest power is not using your power at all. You're very powerful, but you don't use it. That is the greatest power. That is the greatest power, guys, that you know that I have power to say things and they will be. I have power to rebuke things and it will be, but I'm not going to do it. I use my power not to use my power. That is the greatest power. But in Africa, it's different. Once you give me power, I'm going to use it to punish you. I'm going to use it to shut you up. I'm going to use it to get back to all of my enemies. From my childhood to my adulthood, I will use that power. That is not being power. That's actually being weak and coward. And that, sadly, that's what we see in the continent. Thank God for Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, because you see the shining, the rising of a new star. That's something that will reflect the servant leadership. That people will be willing to give their lives for their people. Ibrahim Traore, love that guy. Only 34 years age. I think this year is going to be 35. But willing to give everything. They attempted to kill him more than 5 times. He's still standing, still serving his people. He's living a legacy. Leadership. Servant leadership. You're here to serve and not to be saved. You're here for the will of the people, not for your own agenda. And most of them, you'll find them in this t-shirt right here that I'm wearing. What you see in this t-shirt, these are servant leaders who worked so hard for the continent of Africa and somewhere else. I'm gonna stand here, you can look at them, and then I'll turn it around. Look at them. Most of these are servant leaders. And that's why I had to wear this today, because my second topic is leaders. When I'm talking about this, look at this t-shirt and be inspired. These leaders, they were not loved by everybody. They had enemies. Maybe even you don't agree that these are servant leaders. They did great for their countries. Maybe you don't agree. Maybe some of them, they're not even in this t-shirt. I'm not saying this is everything. But we can agree to disagree. But we have to make this point. That who today will resemble some of these leaders we have here? Tell me, guys, I want to hear that, and I want to know that from the comment section. Who today will resemble these leaders we see here on this t-shirt? Who today? Mentioning their name in the comment section. Who leaders today would you say that they resemble some of these leaders we see here in t-shirt? Julius Kamagi Nyerere, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Mandela, Haile Selassie, Muammar Gaddafi, John Pombe Magufuli. This is the recent leader, by the way, the Tanzanian leader. You see all of them, they're here. See? Che Guevara, you have him there. So many other leaders. Who today will resemble this leadership? Who today will resemble this leadership? Only the AES leaders. That means the leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Russell Maroon Schultz says that. I'd love to know. Okay, anyways, yeah. So who today? Let me know, guys. Who today resemble this leadership? I am wearing this t-shirt so that if you're a leader and you're watching this video, you'll be inspired. You'll also be inspired that I'm not saying this because I hate on the leaders of Africa. No, I'm saying this because I'm reading books, history books of these leaders. And I'm looking at the corner, I'm like, where are these leaders of this generation? Where are these leaders? These are our forefathers. These are people who founded these nations. They fought for these countries. We are the descendants of these leaders. But why we cannot act the same? Why we don't find? Why it's hard to find this type of leadership today? Why? Why? So be inspired today. And if you're a leader, go sleep. Have a good night today. Wake up tomorrow with another agenda. That my work is not yet finished. I haven't done a thing. Let me start now. That is the mentality of bringing about change. Not to count what good you have done, but to evaluate yourself what you did not do right and step forward. Go ahead, do it as if you've never done anything before. Servant leadership. I think today I'll just give that 1 point. Servant leadership is what needed in this world. So how many servant leaders we have in the room right now? How many servants leaders we have in the room right now? And how many people will pledge that wherever you are, in your leadership position, in your school, in your company, in your house, in your street, you're pledging to be a servant leader, to serve those who are choosing you. That is my pledge. That is my cry. That is my wish for this beautiful continent. Guys, I think I've spoken my heart today. I finished. Who is Africa's second greatest adversary? There you go, guys. You let me know in the comment section, what do you think? And I hope this session was productive to you today, and I hope you learned something. All right, so I'll go ahead to pray, and I'll be leaving you guys. Tomorrow I have a lot of meetings to be done, and I need to have rest for big day tomorrow. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. God, I thank you for these beautiful individuals who have been here with me from the beginning up to right now. I just pray, God, that everything that we spoke today here will go deep into our hearts and transform our mind and change the way we think. Continue to speak over and over and over and over again in our hearts. Because it is possible to transform this continent. I see it and I know it and I can feel it. It is possible. We see the awakening all over the continent, here and there. And we want to partake, to be part of the change. And not part of the discourager or blamer, but part of the change. So God, thank you, because this will become reality in our lives and in whatever spheres of lives we're going to be. In your precious name, Christ, I pray. Amen. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed, do. If you haven't liked this video, do. If you haven't shared, please share. If you haven't followed us on social medias, we have TikTok, Mika Chavala. We have X, Mika Chavala. Instagram, Mika Chavala, Swahili Nation. Even X, we have Swahili Nation as well. And YouTube, Swahili Nation. Go there and it's going to be amazing. First of all, guys, I really appreciate it. I see a huge number of people watching here from all over the place. And this has been, beautiful. I'm just grateful and sad that I'm leaving and you guys are there. But this is good. It's awakening because I have a lot of people watching here, 72 people watching, and 73 actually. Oh, actually 80. But yeah. So tomorrow we'll be coming back here to finish the last enemy of Africa, Africa's third greatest adversary. So the first one is mentality, or our mindset. The second one, leadership. And the third one, we'll cover tomorrow. Okay? This is good. I feel like I'm having a seminar. You guys should pay me, by the way, by doing this, huh? Yeah. One day we'll be opening up classes, and we go to those, to those classes to talk to our people. And actually, that's one of the reasons why we go to different countries in the continent, to bring that message of decolonization of the mind and everything. Yeah. I love it. I love it. We're getting somewhere. So let me just say bye from TikTokers first. You guys, see you very soon. Thank you for sticking around. Oh, is he the one I've been praying for? Black Infinity. Thank you if you've been praying for me, because I've been asking for you guys to pray for me. Black Infinity say, God, is this my husband? They've been praying for me. Oh man. I am grateful. I'm grateful that you've been praying for me. God bless you, man. All right. So I'll let you guys go, and then I'm gonna finish up with people from YouTube here, YouTube Swahili Nation. So if you haven't, subscribed, go there to YouTube Swahili Nation and then subscribe. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you very, 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 very soon. So you're my husband. God bless you, Black Infinity. Man, get a lot of proposals from here, TikTok. All right. Thank you guys. I've already ended up with TikTok. Now I'll end with you guys. I appreciate everybody who joined. I appreciate everybody who has been here today. And I love you guys. Thank you for the support, and thank you for sticking around there all the time. What is going on? Crazy. All right. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. So I'll leave you with some of the videos here to kind of like make you think a little bit, and then I'll be out because I already prayed. So I'm done session for today. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
So Africa, a place where poverty and pandemic diseases are originated. The least wealthy continent per capita. The land where the only things to be found are animals, corrupted leaders, poor kids, dirty water and civil wars. People who are in need for help, donations and support, aka the NGO's motherland. For others, honestly, Africa is just a very hot, dark and sad place everyone wishes to escape one day. Well, whether you're an African or not, this thinking isn't new to you, because you have read, heard or felt the same way before. Just type the word Africa on Google right now. Turn on your TV and see what the NGOs portray. Watch movies from Hollywood. Ask your mama, friends, or ask yourself, what is Africa? Yet if you're still struggling to believe, let me ask you this. What comes to your mind when you hear the word Africa? Tell me the first thought that comes to your mind right now. Honestly, tell me right now. But what really is Africa? What is Africa? Listen, There are many theories about the name, but one that is close to the truth is Alkebulan. This name translates to Mother of Mankind, or according to other sources, the Garden of Eden, the place where love, peace, and unity dwells. Alkebulan is an extremely old word. Many nations in Africa use this word, including Ethiopians, Nubians, Moors, and Numidians. For me, this isn't just the theory, but the truth. My truth I choose to believe in. As cliche as it sounds, that's the future I'm hoping for. The tomorrow I'm fully determined to see. The dream I am convinced and dedicated to fighting for until it happens. What is Africa for you?
First of all, I think every African should be doing what I do, like everybody, because of who we are, right? We're African, we should love Africa. You know, when I went to South Korea, I realized that Africa is being perceived and viewed very different. I realized that, well, the media, what I see on TV, what people talk about Africa, even my friends, they don't really know about it. It's very negative. It's very negative. That was 2013, and I was like, I must change this. So I started actually there in South Korea. I started to go to schools, to like elementary school, like kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school. I started to go there. That was like my part-time job. I went to, like in Korea, I went to every single city in Korea. I went everywhere in that country, and I was going to these schools. One day I went even close to North Korea. Like there's this one place called Paju. It's just next to North Korea. Like you see North Korea is there, South Korea is here. I went there and I went to kindergarten. These little kids, and these little kids, when they see you, some of them, they start to cry. They just see you, ah! They say, why are you crying? So I was like, why are you crying? So they're scared. These are little kids, but that's what they have been seeing on TV. That's what, like, sometimes some of them, even their parents teach them like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to build a new system that is for Africans, it's for us, a new system that it will support us, it will challenge authorities here in Africa, right? And it will challenge as well, it will defend and protect the image and heritage of Africa, right, from outsiders, Westerners, Easterners, and to build pretty much a new system, because before colonialism we had a different system, right? During colonialism we had a different system. After that we're still struggling with this system, right? And our forefathers like Haile Selassie, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, Kaunda, and so many others, they tried to build a new system after colonialism that unite all Africans, right, to become one. And they did their part, right? And you know, now they're gone. Nobody's here right now. So it's our responsibility right now, as you know, the sons of Africa, to actually carry on with that move and that fight. And that's what One Africa is standing for. One Africa is not about me personally, but it's about us.
So the lie began from the very beginning of time, right? And I can ask you one question right now. What does history tell us you about Africa? Who discovered Africa? If you write right now on Google who discovered Africa, you find out that is one white man that he came and discovered Africa. And you can ask yourself that how can you discover a place that already exists? How can you discover a place that people already live in that place? It is impossible, but that's what the history tells us. That's what people believe about Africa, that it was discovered by a white man. This guy, he came and then he went back, he gave a report, and then the next we know is colonialism, because those guys, they sat somewhere to divide Africa like a piece of cake, because they discovered it, they own it, it belonged to them. But that is us. We discovered, we're the first people to know. And today you have a lot of people around the world that they think that Africa was discovered by them. journey to one Africa.
Why do I love Africa? I love Africa because I'm African. There is no one else to love Africa except me. There's no one else to protect Africa, to defend Africa, except me, because I'm African. It's my pride, it's my heritage, it's my nature, it's in my blood. I have African blood in me. We might be speaking different languages. We might be like wearing different clothes. Today I look like Habesha here. We might be eating different food, but the fact that you're African and I'm African, I love you. You know, when you go abroad, nobody call me Tanzanian. They call me African. And whatever I do, they don't say Mika did this. They say African, that African guy has done this and that. So I represent Africa, you represent Africa, we represent Africa. That's the reason why we're here today. That's the reason why we should love one another. That's the reason why we should protect one another. That's the reason why we should stand for one another. Because if you fail, I fail. If you don't have peace, I don't have peace. If you die, I die. And if you survive, I survive. And that's what we need. We need people who will love Africa with everything they got. Because out there, nobody loves Africa. And it's my responsibility. It's our responsibility to love Africa, to defend Africa with everything we got. Thank you so much.
We love you, Mika.
I don't know, maybe I think, just think about having kids. Don't just think about here, no, think about there.
Hey guys, 93% of people who are watching our channel, Swahili Nation, have not yet subscribed. Only 7% of the viewers in this channel have subscribed. What does that mean? It means a lot of people are coming in this channel to watch videos, but they do not want to be engaged, to be a part of this family and to support this movement and what we're working for towards one Africa in our generation. So my request to all of you guys, if you really like our content, you like what we're doing here in Swahili Nation, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. Don't do just that. Turn on the notification button. Don't stop there. Like the videos we share. Share with your friends. Leave your comments, your opinions, so that we may actually interact in the comment section, know what is happening. If you would like to support us even more financially, you can join the Patreon. The link is below. And also you can join us and become a member of this family. So please guys, do us a favor. When you subscribe, when you like, when you share, you help us to reach to as many people as we can. We want this world to be filled with the positive message about Africa and one Africa, and we want the message to go all across the world. So help us by becoming part of this family. I love you.